Hello, it's Matt Kundle. I'm the host of many things, including the Hot Air Podcast and the Sound Off Podcast. And today we've gone and we're crossing the stream. So you're watching this probably on the Sound Off Podcast YouTube channel, and also with Marla Barr on her channel. And we welcome Marla Barr to her own channel today. Hi, Marla. How are you?
Hello. And I should also say that you're most amazing producer of my show as well.
That's right. So the podcast.
Let me pick my own title today. So I decided hummus expert. I'm very excited about that.
I think we're going to have to talk about hummus.
I will talk your ear off about hummus. Well, hello, Mr. Matt. How are you today on this rainy Winnipeg day?
Well, I'm thankful that it is raining because we need the water. I guess really since, I wanted to have this conversation today to talk about, health during the pandemic. And, I guess I'll share some of the things that I've gone through and then run it against some of the things that you're going through, because you and I, we talk on a regular basis, about making podcasts and doing your podcast called Your Wellness Journey, which everybody should subscribe to. And I'll put the connection points at the bottom of the screen shortly for those who need to still subscribe to this podcast. But I guess, can you summarize, the last few months of, when it all sort of started in March, to what your observations are about, health and eating and how you see people are doing with this?
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster for all of us. No one could have planned this or foreseen any aspect of this. And I think, we've all learned so much from this, but it's that we use our old life, what life used to be like in January and February. And we used to have all these tools, some of them little, like just stopping at the mailbox and having a conversation with your neighbor less than 6 feet away. Some big things like getting to see the girls every Friday, going out for margaritas. But all of these little things, little aspects of our lives were our tools to get us through, for self-care, for self-love, to help us connect. And I think it's really been like, look down at your waist and pretend there's a big tool belt there. And it's like with COVID, 80% of the tools that are normally in our tool belt, the things we would normally do, maybe take a summer vacation, as much as just going to the grocery store and walking to whatever part you want to, instead of in a specific line, in a specific way, with a mask on, with gloves on, with all this sanitizer. That's all changed. So we've been coping. We've been trying to get through and deal with our emotions with the tools that we have left. And what's one of the tools that you have left? And I'll give you a hint. It's in your house. It's in your kitchen. It's food. And we're using it to comfort, to soothe us in ways that we might have done if I've had such a stressful week. I'm going to go and get a massage. I'm not going for a massage. You going for a massage? I'd love to go for a massage. Or, you and I went to the same yoga place all the time for years together. We'd meet up 9:30 Saturday morning. And it was just a great opportunity for me to see my favorite yogis on planet Earth. I haven't done that since February. And just reconnecting, and that's hard. That's really hard on all of us. So, yeah.
Well, you raised a good point. Let's start with that, with community. So, by the way, it was 8 a.m., not 9:30.
Oh, that's how long ago it was. Yes, our 8 a.m. Saturday class.
But not seeing people.
Yeah.
It feels rather unnatural.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it is unnatural for us. And it's so funny that even the people that said that, say, if you say I'm introverted, I really just like my own space anyway, this won't be too bad on me. But how much we rely on specific relationships. It might not mean that we have 100 best friends, but even if we have 3, and not being able to see them and hug them and share a glass of wine with them and say, hey, look at that hummus on your plate across from across from the table at the restaurant, and just taking a little bite of their hummus and not even thinking about it because it's been your best friend for 20 years. And now it's like, oh my, 6 feet and blah, blah, blah. It's yikes. It's impacted us. And I don't know. Well, I don't want to say things are never going to go back to the way that they are, but I think there'll be a really long, prolonged effect of this. And we just have to figure out, okay, how do we get to a place where we are really addressing what's happening here for ourselves, for our kids, for everyone involved? Well,
So I'll start with that actually, because the first place that everybody went was the crazy grocery store shopping thing,
mhm.
and you witnessed it, and I witnessed it, and that's the flour is gone, the toilet paper is gone. I think everybody was building a fort with it. Then and people like the pasta and the hamburger, and then all the things that are associated with comfort food starts to disappear off the shelves. Even things like cans of beans,
Mhm.
are disappearing rapidly because I think, that's a very versatile food. So what is it about comfort food? Why I want to say why did we go there? I think we know why we went there. But now I think we're beginning to see the effects of too much comfort food eating.
Um, well, I wouldn't say it's too much comfort. We're using it. I don't think, someone was coining the term, well, not coining the term, but COVID-19. COVID-19 doesn't stand for 19, the year that it was actually, 2019. That's where the 19 comes from. It's from the 19 pounds that each of us have gained. And it's just understanding we didn't do anything wrong. We are trying to, there are so many things that are going on in our heart and in our head, and we are doing our best to pull ourselves through this. And if that means you're making your mom's famous apple pie and you're sitting down and you're eating, and that soothes something. I think getting into a point with all of this, how your career has been impacted, how your family life has been impacted, your health, and getting out to the gym, and now putting it on yourself saying, "Oh, I ate too much." No, like the time for that is no, there is no time for that. It's we all did what we did to get through, and we're doing what we need to do to get through right now. And just we're slowly finding our new normal as things continue to change every day.
What did you start to lean on the most yourself? What did you find yourself going to in those early days?
Um, so in the very early days, this is when the kids came home, and I have never been boy, so I just started homeschooling him. I was sent them to school in the morning, and come noon one day, I think it was maybe the 11th of March, I just walked in to get them at lunch because my son was in kindergarten, so he only goes half day. And I knew something was different, and I'm like, "Okay, kids, we need to just grab our shoes and grab our stuff. I don't think we're coming back." And from that minute on, from after lunch that day, we were homeschooling, and it was just, "Okay, what is comfort? What can I do?" And for about a month and a half, I didn't go out to a grocery store. My lovely husband did. But, scones every day at 10:30, we made scones. We made vegan scones every day. I love scones, and I've never tried to make them, so I was like, "I'm gonna try and figure this out." And so got used to that. So after a couple weeks of that, I was like, I don't know if I need 3 scones every morning at 10:15. And in all honesty, it was hard to I'm you and I big yogis. I've been a yogi for over 25 years. If I had to say one thing that I love on planet Earth, it's, yoga and my yoga practice. It wasn't all there. It wasn't easy. I walked by that mat 800 times a day, and that was hard. And then I found something in March, and I know I did a podcast on this called the Climb Mount Everest Challenge. I totally changed it from what I read about, but it was basically, it was March. It was still cold here. I was not feeling physically active. I was sitting on the couch with the kids thinking, what the heck is going on? Watching the news like all of us sitting there eating scones. And I read this one article, and I think that little challenge really did save me. So basically, what it is at 7 o'clock every single morning, doesn't matter how I'm feeling, I get up and I go up and down my flight of stairs from the main floor to the second floor. And I can normally get in about 96 flights. The first day, I think I got in 8 flights in a row, and I was winded and it was not happening. But just to have that 30 minutes where I get to think, flush things out. I sweat like mad. I am just like puddles. Like at this point, I'm like, I think we have to like shampoo the carpets. And then right after that, I practiced my handstands. and then I cry every single day. I cry, and I'm not a good crier. I've gone through years of my life where I'm not a crier. It's just not my thing. Um, but I've really had to get into that and said, okay, I put on this one song that always makes me cry. And I'm like, no, this is my 5 minutes a day. I am giving that to myself to get out whatever emotions are right under my skin. And now it gets to the point where by the end of the 30 minutes going up and down the stairs, my body knows what's coming next. I know that I am going to get this big cry and this release. And I feel like $1,000,000 after it. It's that 7 to 7:30 is like my sacred time. I wouldn't give it up for anything now. And I don't need shoes on. I don't need anything. If I want to stop halfway through, I stop halfway through. I just put on my favorite music and I just think, and that's helped me a lot.
So,
So
and for those who can see on the screen, I've actually put your podcast up there so that people can see it. It was episode 64 that you did the climb Mount Everest from home.
yeah.
And then I remember you were talking about, coping through that and the climb Mount Everest from home, and then also spending that time to cry out the emotions and to sort yourself out after that.
Yeah. Oh, I love scrolling through those. I've had some of the most amazing guests that, oh, they're so touching and beautiful. I wish I could reach out and hug them all. I think, this podcast has been so helpful because people who, when this all hit, people who my soul connects with, people who I look to for advice as a mentor, I just reached out to them. And this was a great opportunity to say, to Kevin or Purnima or some of the people whom I love and adore, just let's connect. How are you doing? How you doing, Kevin? Kevin Naidu is just one of the most beautiful, soulful, spiritual individuals. He's here in Canada. I've interviewed him twice. Purnima, I'm interviewing her for her third time on the show on Monday. I'm so excited. She's an Ayurvedic expert, and I swear I'm glad that we're in pandemic and we're definitely separated because there's no way I can be in a room without just hugging her.
So if I can wind you back just a little bit, I think we looked at, like, first of all, this is the longest summer vacation of all time if you're a parent, which it started in March and it sort of screamed its way through. And I think there was a point when, you and I were talking, we were like, oh, can't wait for the kids to go back to school or to reestablish some degree of normality come September. But yet there's an anxiety that's going to go with sending your kids back to school. And I've seen parents say, oh, they're just going. And I've seen other ones say, oh, they're not going. And I think, first of all, I think wherever you land, it's fine on that stuff. But how has your mind changed from that time when you said, oh, well, September's going to roll around? Because now it's August and now you've got to sort of look around and make a decision or two.
Yeah. So we have 3 weeks until they go back. And yeah, it's hard. I know that those 4 months that I homeschooled them, it was hard. I'm running a company full time and I'm homeschooling with them also full time. So there wasn't a night that I could go to bed before. And I'm sorry because I'm home with, look, these little kiddos right now. Honey, what can I do to help you? Go ahead. Thank you. Sorry. See, this is what happens.
But that's another thing. I mean, I know like people apologize for their kids coming on, but now it's the norm because, that's not even a Zoom bomb. That's just normal.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think we homeschooled and I'm not a teacher. I don't know, other than I teach adults, but doing kid stuff and ABCs and all this stuff, that was hard. And we homeschooled we started at 8 a.m. every morning, and we went right till 5 o'clock every single day. I don't know how teachers filled it all in by 3 p.m. Gosh, it took me. And because we don't have an iPad, we don't have a laptop, we have this and we have my phone. So I'd have to go back and forth, do one thing with my son, one thing with my daughter, and give them something in between. So then I didn't get to my work, what I do, until 8 o'clock at night till they went to bed. And that was definitely I'm not shining. I'm not putting out anything fantastic. I'm just trying to put out whatever fires I can and get things trying to be there the best that I can for my audience and my clients, and just work till midnight and then up at the crack of dawn the next day. So those were 3, 4 really hard months. And I was glad when summer came so the kids could just play Lego all day long. And yeah, so hard, but it's all right. So, oh yeah, September. Hard. We've worked so hard following what rules they have given us, and every province and every state is different and continues to change. But they're definitely, the plan is for them to go back right now, but I don't know how long that'll last. Maybe they'll be in school till November, maybe they'll be in school till January, and they might turn that off. So I feel, as the person who would be homeschooling them when that does happen, I want to be prepared now. So I'm already starting to get all the resources for, hey, if this homeschool stuff starts, I want to know what I am doing, as opposed to what I did last year. So yeah.
Tell me a little bit about making hummus, because it says hummus expert. So I feel obliged to ask you how to make it. Like, everybody has their own way to make it. How do you make it?
How do I make it? Well, I have to tell you this. I have to be 100% honest with you. I don't make it. I buy it. Okay. So
Really?
just give me 1 minute. I have to. I can't believe I just told planet Earth I don't make hummus. I don't make hummus. So my reason is this. Approximately 3 years ago, I broke down and I bought a Vitamix. My dad gave me a couple $100s for Christmas. Vitamixes are super expensive. I have smoothies all the time, but I was like, I'm not spending $299 on nothing, man. So he gave me a couple $100s. My birthday is right before Christmas, and bought one. But I don't have a food processor. So Vitamix, it will do almost everything you need in life, but it drives me bonkers, puree things. So I've tried to make hummus in a Vitamix. Doesn't work, but I am like, heck, I just spent 3 years ago $300 on this Vitamix. I am not going out and getting a food processor, but I think maybe it's a hummus tasting expert. Like in my dreams, when I am fantasizing about things, I am at either a guacamole tasting festival or a hummus testing festival. And there was a guac festival in San Diego when we moved from San Diego to Winnipeg. Gosh, three and a half years ago now. So
Yep.
yeah.
I don't know why I'm verifying that. I just know that it was 3.5 years ago.
Good. Yeah.
By the way, your website looks great. Lots to look and see up there. So you've got the self-care routines, which you can download for free right now if you go to marlabar.com. So you've got the ultimate morning routine and as well the ultimate bedtime routine. You talked a little bit about both during the pandemic. So in those routines, which you can get for free right now at marlabar.com, any adjustments in the pandemic time? Because I'll give you a stat. And the reason why I ask this is I'll give you a stat. People are waking up 75 minutes later. They're starting their day 75 minutes later because they don't have work to get to. They don't have to take kids to school and whatnot. So what in there changes, if any?
Yeah. I think what has really changed for me, both in my morning and evening routine during the pandemic, has nothing to do with the pandemic. And it has much more to do with the incoming of the 5G technology that we're seeing in lots, all over the world. Some countries are totally vetoing it and they are not having the 5G technology come in. Some little communities are, some full cities are. I know Quebec is doing a huge job at getting a lot of their individuals to sign petitions. And I think for the most of the province, they are not going to have 5G technology. Niagara Falls has done the same. So just becoming more aware of what 5G will mean and then what 4G means right now to us and how it's impacting us. I've spent a lot of time over the past 5, 6 months studying that, researching it, interviewing individuals on it. And that has tremendously impacted my sleep habits, how I go to sleep and how I wake up. One of the things is, here's my cutesy little phone. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. It has a little shungite pad on it. So I do lots of studying. There it is, right? There it is. Um, and how we actively pull the cord out of the wall from the modem come 9:30 at night. We fully unplug. No one can text me. No one can call me on my phone. My phone is in airplane mode. It is not connected to any Wi-Fi. We are really actively trying to make the house as EMF free, or decreasing the EMF load to ourselves and the kids. And as well, we don't turn it on until 8 o'clock in the morning. So how many of us, the second we wake up, we reach for our phones? We need to know what the weather's going to be like. We need to know what the news is. We do not turn any of that on till 8 a.m. And at first it was so hard, and you realize how quickly we go to reach for that. And now it's just become, it's so comforting. It's so comforting that I can just focus on my morning routine. Planet Earth doesn't get to come into this until 8 a.m. and I'm ready for it. Because we quickly, our ex-wife just texted us in the middle of the night. Okay, well, right away, I'm there. Well, I don't have an ex-wife, but you see something. Oh my gosh, there was a earthquake in Chechnya. Oh my, things are happening here. As soon as we hear these headlines, and it's 6 a.m., we've only been awake for 2 minutes, and you're seeing something. And even though it's a headline, things are happening. So really actively saying no to this Wi-Fi. I don't need it. I need it at certain times during the day. And I've noticed myself get really productive. So my phone is on, not in airplane mode, from 8:30 to 9:30. I get done everything I need to. I have my little Facebook live that I have with my clients in the morning. 9:30, it's off until just before noon. If any texts come in, I do not see it. I do not need to see it. And I get to actually work. It's been huge.
And that's something that I guess I'll ask you about, because you mentioned, a little bit about cell phone transmission. I mean, and you mentioned you turn the Wi-Fi off, but you also mentioned that you also built your bedroom without any, electrical plugs too near the bed, so that circuitry's away. I mean, it's very detailed stuff that you go into to avoid having, funny signals or whatnot sort of passing through our bodies while we're sleeping.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's one of the things that I had my lovely clients go through. Oh, so another thing that I did in March when things were like bonkers, I locked myself in this room in my tiny little office. And I was like, I am going to stay in here till I have created a program that's going to get us through this. I know that we need to come together as a community. I know we need to focus on our health, focus on our wellness. So I came up with this 90-day yoga warrior program. And every week it's been fantastic. My gosh, everyone that joined, they're like my family. We check in, we have live chats every single week. I just chatted with them this morning, and what's today? Yeah, I chatted with them last night as well, a big group chat. We have new moon ceremonies, we had full moon ceremonies, and yeah, we've been, gosh, they're my family. They're my COVID family at this point. I don't know what I would have done. I'm going to start crying. I don't know what I would have done without them at this point. But one of the weeks, so we pick a health topic, a really important health topic every single week. And one of them was, I want you to look at your bedroom. I want you to stand at the entrance of your bedroom. And anyway, yeah, that's the course. But it's down now, I think, because we're almost wrapping up at the end of the month. But and I want you to really tell me, what do you feel? What do you feel? Our bedroom should be our place of peace. This is where we do our healing. As soon as we go to sleep at night, this is when our body has a chance to heal. So, what in this room? And I made them go through their bedrooms and touch everything, pick up absolutely everything in your bedroom and say, what is helping you and what isn't? And maybe it was like, oh, that red pillow just wasn't doing it for me. And I said, take out everything that is not helping create this sanctuary. Your bedroom should be I want to get rid of the word bedroom. We're just going to call them personal sanctuaries. And one of the things was EMF. So we have pretty big bedroom, but we have one thing plugged into the wall, and it is a alarm clock that sits the furthest away from us as possible. So what I say is go lay in your bed and think 10 feet in any single direction. So this also means we're on the second floor here. 10 feet below you. So right below where we sleep is a fireplace. It's just one of those fireplaces. We got it on sale where you plug it into the wall. That even counts. And I want to make sure that absolutely nothing is plugged in 10 feet in any direction from where your head is. And we do the same for the kids. We have nothing plugged in their wall in their bedrooms as well. And this really helps. They have great sleeps. We all have great sleeps. So yeah.
For those of you who have not done this yet, please do this. And what we're going to ask them to do, of course, is to subscribe to the podcast. It's up on Apple, by the way.
I love it.
So a lot of people have Apple, and half of all podcast listeners, especially with your podcast, Marla, are consuming this through Apple. So if you do get a chance and you're going to listen to this on Apple Podcasts, do subscribe. And I know that's a funny word for people to go, well, does that mean I have to pay? And no, it doesn't. It means basically that you're going to be getting your episode. So when you release an episode, Marla, we want people to hit the subscribe button, which is going to be located right here. And then you'll get the latest episode the minute that you release it, which is quite nice, right?
I love that you're driving this. Normally when I'm hosting a show, I have to do all the things and talk. And look, I can just sit here and talk about sleeping and hummus and chakras and whatever, and you have to press all the buttons. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, it's no problem. I mean, and look, you've got like 5-star reviews and everything going on here with this.
Yeah, we had our 2-year anniversary, and of course we're in COVID. We're not doing anything for any of these little anniversaries we have. But I really took time to go and read every single review that I've had on. I know they're different on every single platform, but I stopped and I read all of them and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I just want to reach out and hug everyone that took the time after listening to one of them. And I did a post the other day of some lady, one of the episodes that we taped over a year ago, she listened to it and it really resonated with her because it was about death. And she had recently lost quite a few people in her lives. But we forget, as podcasters, we have this topic. We're passionate about it. We research it. We talk to the people about it. And then we're on to next week's show. And, podcasts, they're these living, beautiful, breathing things that are still helping so many people, even years afterwards. So it was just so touching to see that she listened to it for the first time. And it was over a year ago it was released, but it meant something to her. So I'm so honored when I find people that they're going through something here is hard. And they look through the catalog of the 70 episodes we've put together now, and they find something that resonates with them. And they're like, this is what I need right now. I need to listen to this. And just them taking the time to reach out afterwards and tell us what they thought it means everything. So thank you to all of you out there.
I think a lot of people are probably wondering where we are today with this. We're on your Facebook page.
Yes.
And as well, we're putting this out through the Sound Off podcast through our YouTube page. Right. So we're crossing the streams, as it were. Yeah. And doing this, live from both our homes. We could probably just get together and do this, but such is the times. But at the same time, it's just why get in a car and do that when you can just do it like this, right?
Yeah. No, it's and I think we're used to it now. Our little home office here is this is my little sanctuary. The desk, then I sit on the floor here, and the desk is normally in the closet. I don't know if you can see, but that's actually a closet. That's my workspace, but it's home. It's perfect.
Well, I see the benefits of the plant, by the way. So I'd be very happy to get a plant for my place. I think I need to get one over the back here.
Yeah, I think so. I did an inventory of how many plants I have in the house. If we were allowed to go out more than we're actually allowed, I'm sure I'd have like 150 plants in this house. Every single time I go out, I buy a plant.
All right, Marla. Well, thanks a lot for catching us up here through the pandemic, talking health and talking about some of the things that you're thinking about these days. This, even though we're doing this live on both the streams, This is also going to be an episode of the Hot Air Podcast, so it will be kept on demand, and you can listen to it on that podcast as well. And you've got some episodes coming up in the next little while. Tell everybody about those episodes coming up.
Oh, so I teach a big, long chakra course. The next one starts October, where I've done them in the past, and I love talking about all the energy centers. There's so much that we can glean out of them. So the next one that I'm doing, I'm spending a full month talking about each chakra. So we'll start the root chakra in October. But just to give everyone a little preview, if they're not really too familiar with what goes on with the chakras? What do you learn at each of them? What are the cool things that you're like, oh, that's an awesome story. That means something to me. So I'm taking 7 episodes between now and I guess when we start in October and really explaining a little cool fact, in half an hour or less, just like, ooh, what can I take? How can I make that absorb? So I think I'm doing the root and the sacral chakra for you. And then on Monday, we tape an episode with the amazing Purnima Chadhari, who's a dear, dear friend and Ayurvedic expert. And I love her to death. And we are actually talking about EMF, so electrical magnetic forces, and how it's impacting us and some of the things that we can do to mitigate its effects. So that'll be a great one for next week. So that's kind of up and coming.
Awesome. Let's aim to do this on a more regular basis because it's fun to get together, right?
Yep. And we can talk about anything. Hummus, anything.
All right. There you have it, everybody. There's hummus expert Marla Barr.
Thank you.
All right. See ya. Speak
Have
soon.
a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye.